Hello and welcome back to Clockwork Noodles, a channel where we continue to break down this amazing jam-packed anime season that is spring 2021. I am Clockwork Noodles. Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed because in 7 days, roughly a week, you have a gift going your way on my channel. It is my midway anime review where I will be giving you my top 3 EDs, top 3 OPs, and top 3 animes that stand halfway through the season. This standing might change. This is the reason why I am conducting this little survey for myself, just to see how the standing changes at the end when I do my full wrap-up of the season. Is there going to be shuffling? Are animes going to fall out of place? Are animes going to rise into place? Sometimes animes can drop the ball. Sometimes animes start really strong, then they can drop it. There's a few animes that at the back of my head, I do worry that certain animes might drop the ball halfway through or the level of quality is going to drop. But let's see how things go. There is a Discord for you guys to go and lurk. You get a notification whenever videos go up on the channel. This allows you to stay in the loop, and I also get to tell you guys if there's any delays. There may possibly be delays as of next week, just because my work schedule is a little bit more jam-packed, so things might be going out at a little bit more of a slower pace. Let's go back to episode 4 of To Your Eternity. And the cold open giving us Perona's backstory. The only reason I guessed it was Perona because on the bag that her sister leaves her, there is the little knife that she then used last episode to free herself from the ropes. But we can see that Perona's sister did the one thing we actually saw Perona trying to do. So initially, Perona tried to leave the village when the rest of them were told to gather up for the ritual picking. She actually tried to leave the village with March. So she tried to do the same thing that her sister had done. Her sister had left her in the forest, told her to wait there, whilst she went ahead and got herself sacrificed. So she sacrificed herself in place of her sister. I'm not sure whether the rest of it was a dream sequence because we see Perona being cast aside by the village. They shun her for running away, being a coward, but I'm not quite sure if that is just a bit of a dream sequence because she still lives in the village. And lo and behold, this week we're going to get a bit of an unraveling. We finally get to see the bigger picture of what's going on. And the shaman, the woman who we all kind of disliked completely, she's actually a prisoner. It's being told to go ahead and pick innocent people, which I can imagine definitely has a toll on you, definitely must at least weigh on her shoulders all the innocent lives that she's put forward. But the entire ritual, as a lot of us were discussing last week, is a sham. It is a method of psychological warfare. The kingdom of Yanami is trying to keep Ninoha. So they're trying to keep the underprogressed lands of Ninoha from rising up, maybe getting too big. They're trying to keep that control of them. They are basically ruling them through fear. The idea that, there's this big bear, you have to keep the sacrifice going. But yes, the sacrifice ritual, as we all started to wonder, because of the idea that no one actually believed in the bear, is a sham. People are being sacrificed just for the sake of control, for the sake of never-ending terror, in a sense. But this ritual is never going to end unless somebody does something about it. And that is essentially what Perona is trying to do. Her goal now, this episode, is to try and break the cycle. Can the cycle be broken? Can we save more innocent lives? March and Perona and our boy, our talking wolf, Fushi, are now prisoners of Yaname. Very interestingly, our wolf recalls the promise that he made to our boy in episode 1, Remember Me, and this helps him transform back into a boy. It's going to be interesting to see if that maybe is the trigger, that was the initial trigger that allowed him to change states in the first place. March gets her wish, even if it is going to be for a brief time, to be a mother figure to Fushi, where we also learn that the meaning behind Fushi's name is the idea of immortal. And this then goes into quite a deep topic, the topic of immortality. And when I took philosophy, I have a minor in philosophy in my degree, a big topic did come up, the idea of being able to live forever, and whether the idea of mortality is what actually gives human lives meaning. So if you were to live forever, you couldn't die, nothing would kill you off, you would lose your purpose because nothing could matter anymore. You'd also see everybody you care and love die around you as their mortal lives came to their end. In a sense, it is a very deep topic for us to be discussing, but it's a very interesting one, the idea of living forever, because a lot of people say that they want to live forever, but at the same time, I think the more you start thinking about the idea of immortality, people probably don't want to live forever because it's probably not going to be cracked up to be everything that you want. Maybe being able to live forever with the idea that you can put an end to things when you want may be a bit more appealing. But yeah, welcome to Yaname. This is a 360 on absolutely everything we've seen so far. This is definitely the most advanced city, the big village, I think we can call it a city by this point, that we have seen in the anime. It is a complete 360. It is plentiful. There's food absolutely everywhere. The culture looks rich and vibrant. There's people, there's items, there's the idea of consumerism. People are able to buy and exchange goods. The comparisons as well, compare this to the Ninaha, the ones who are being ruled with fear. They live in a village which really does kind of resemble really early Incas, or quite tribal in a sense that they are very underdeveloped. The outfit change is nice. Finally get to see our characters slightly different, but it does feel like a welcome to the next level of the game. I do keep likening this anime to a game in a sense where you're leveling up as the wolf, and now we're here trying to get more experience in this new level, the new level to escape the tower, escape prison. We do get a music change as well, welcoming in this new land, and it definitely feels a bit more exotic. We've got a flute, some pipes as well, and some bells. It's completely different from everything we've heard so far, really welcoming us to this new exotic land, which feels like heaven compared to the old world, the old village that we were in. Reality sets in quite quickly with March, where she realizes that this might be an amazing place and it's full of everything that she can eat, but it hasn't got the heart. It lacks the family. It lacks the one thing that she is going to miss the most. And in quite a little bit of a heartbreaking sequence where we see March trying to leave a message or just something to her parents, we do get some information that the people of Ninaha, the sacred land of Oniguma-sama, do not actually have a writing system. So these guys cannot convey words, they can't convey any messages. March, who may never see them again, has no way of letting them know that she is alive, which is also part of the plan. We know that Hayase said that they were going to relay the message that March had died. But we also get to see a map, and maps are fantastic in games, they're fantastic in anime, because it shows you the scale of the world that you're dealing with, and this seemingly is just the continent of Ninaha, and it's massive, so this isn't even the full world, but we are told that Ninaha, even the closest districts, have 40 different settlements, so that is, like, we can probably times that by quite a few if we're thinking about how many are actually in the entire settlement as a whole, which means there is an entire world out there. The world is massive. Fushi and his one word at this point making him a fantastic counterpart to people like Groot and Pikachu. Could you imagine a conversation between the whole lot? You've just got Arigato, Pikachu, I am Groot. Arigato, Pikachu, I am Groot. But it is a very painful cycle. We see how Fushi learns, how he has to keep going through cycling of pain, learning the hard way. There's nothing easy about what he's doing to gain experience. He starts to level up a little bit where we actually see that through making his own mouth bleed, he learns that he has to hold the stick to eat it. But then the drugs kick in, our dream comes to a halt, where the reality kicks back in. We're actually just prisoners. Everyone here is simply a prisoner. Our boy Fushi is I feel really bad for him because he is a prisoner, which is more like an experiment, a guinea pig. He's being used kind of just to prove, hey, he's immortal. We can stab him all we want. And through this very cruel cycle, we also get to see the fact that Yanami is keeping prisoners, promising them that they might go free if they can kill this boy. But we know that they're probably not going to be released. It is a cycle of pain. We are learning via experience, which actually allows him to learn a new phrase. And it hurts. It hurts is a horrible phrase for him to learn. But we also do see that he can produce some wooden spears from his hand, which is interesting. So this means the orb has more different abilities as opposed to just mimicking things around him. That he's able to actually produce something, make things out of his own hands to protect himself. So he's mimicking what he sees. But it is the brutal underbelly of this place. There's beautiful bright lights we may have seen before that Welcome does in. But these beautiful bright lights are so bright that they're hiding the darker underbelly that's really going on, that there are people there in a tower, forced to live there in quite bad conditions. We've got a young child, March, being forced into a prison cell, who's probably going to serve the rest of her life in a prison cell. It's a big change. It's a big contrast from the bright lights that we've just seen. But you cannot hold back a wild wolf. Fushi, using his ability to dig the way into the room where Oniguma is, pours up to the system, screw the system. But Hayase really is just the worst. I hate her. I hated her from the last 2 episodes. I really just do not like this character at all. The fact that she does not care about a young child's life whatsoever. The fact that she just doesn't care if, tending for Oniguma and March dies. She just doesn't care about anything. She's just heartless. I don't know if we're going to get a backstory for this. There has to be a reason. I hope there's a reason why she is so cold-hearted at the end. Is it the system? Has she been trained in a certain way? We're going to have to hope that next week gives us this. But apparently Oniguma is alive. And I'm not quite sure that he is. But he is riddled in arrows, and we do see that they are trying to revive the bear. Are they trying to continue the cycle of terror? Heal the bear, put it back into place. Therefore, the ritual has to continue because the bear is still alive. Can Perona end the cycle? We do see her big overall plan, the plan that she wants to do. Escaping, bringing the Oniguma's head to the people, helping Ninoha become free. But this is probably going to lead to a war, even if she does manage to break Ninoha against Yaname. Yaname are a bit more advanced than Ninoha, so it's definitely going to lead to some bloodshed in that sense. But the fake shaman, oddly enough, is going to be part of the plan, now apparently on our side. We need to escape. We're going to try and end the cycle of terror. So in the time-lapse sequence, the sequence which I really, really like, we have some flute, we have some strings. They start to carry the main motif, the main theme of the anime itself. It shows you how painfully slow time is passing. The fact that we have to weave wolf fur into string. And this will take a while. This will really take a while to do what it is we're trying to do. Whilst we see March doing her utmost best to try and tend to the bear that was initially going to actually end her own life, so it must be quite painful to do so. But it's a very mature mindset we see March holding. The idea that the bear is just like her. The bear is forced to fight again and again, and he can't go home, and he simply just needs to eat. It must be quite painful for her, the idea that she may never ever get to go home. Where Fushi maybe levels up, possible level up here, as the music starts to swell and grow, he thanks her out of the blue. So he's not eating, it's not a case of, I'm just going to thank you for food. It's quiet, it's silent, she's trying to tend to Oniguma. He thanks her. At this point, I do think that Oniguma is just officially dead. He just didn't look like he was getting up after those wounds. Perona's next sequence. So let's go into the Perona nerve-wracking sequence. This sequence was so nerve-wracking. It was painful and it gave me anxiety because there's no music. And suddenly removing the music after having the full theme play, having all that instruments play, it feels ominous. It feels really awkward suddenly. It's very jarring to have the music released. It's like the rug is now being pulled from under your feet. And this gives us impact. It allows this next sequence to have impact when she's tumbling down the wall, not knowing where she's going to go. Then the tables turn. We suddenly start to regain the situation and the music starts to swell. The music starts to reappear. It's back as we start to maybe celebrate a little bit too early the idea of this escape, that things are going a bit more smoother as we start to put the escape plan into action. But I've got to bear in mind that this is an anime that can and will hurt you at any moment when it chooses to do so. The preview looks like we're going to be clashing with Hayase. Whether there's going to be a death that forces the orb, the boy, to shift shapes, because it does say he changes once more. So is he going to take form of whoever dies, or will he become the bear? And I really hope that we're building up to see him become the bear. But that will be absolutely terrifying. But can you imagine just to protect March that he suddenly just transforms into the bear itself, into the god? I really hope that happens. I hope that's the case, but I do think it might also be that we're going to be losing a character next week. It's been too smooth sailing for too long. But it's been another fantastic episode. It's been an episode of 360s as well, on contrast, seeing the two worlds apart, Yaname and Ninoha, the just differences between the two lands in general, this cycle of fear, that terror that is being maintained upon them, keeping them under thumb by having these guys live under the fear of this bear. A fantastic episode, lots of little developments with our boy Fushi as well. So I really look forward to next week. I wonder what's going to happen. I just cannot wait to see where we're going. I hope we see a bear. I do hope he gets to turn into the bear. So thank you guys again for tuning in. I hope you too are enjoying this amazing anime. Thanks for all of your support. And I hopefully will see you in the midway review. And take care of yourself, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.